Your retirement shouldn't depend on what the market does tomorrow, and neither should your path to get there. You're listening to 10 Minutes Wealthier from the team at Branning Wealth Management. Each episode, we cover one piece of the wealth planning puzzle because the right moves before retirement are just as important as the right moves during it. Let's get to work.
Welcome to the Branning Wealth Management 10 Minutes Wealthier podcast. I'm founder Jason Branning, and this show's about one thing: helping you build a retirement income plan that you can actually count on. Well, today is our first episode, and I want to start with something that we say a lot around the office, something that I think captures our whole philosophy in just one sentence. Don't ask the market for permission to retire. We're going to unpack what that means, why it matters, and what it looks like in practice. If you're within 10 years of retirement, or you're in the middle of contemplating a succession plan for a business liquidation, or maybe you're already there, I want you to think about something. How many times in the last year have you looked at your portfolio and thought, well, when that number gets to a certain place, or when it gets back to a certain place that I had already been, or you might think, I just need one more good year, or even the sentiment, I'll just know when the time is right. Well, if any of those sound familiar, you're not alone. We hear some version of that almost every week around the office, and here's the thing. That instinct makes complete sense. You've spent decades watching those numbers go up and down, and it's very natural to feel like the market has something to say about when you can retire. But here's the problem. The market doesn't know that you're waiting. It's not going to give you a green light. And if your retirement plan depends on the market's cooperation, you're not actually retired. You're still at the market's mercy. And that's no way to live through retirement. That's just a different kind of waiting. So what's the alternative? Well, it starts with a shift in how you think about retirement income. Most people spend their working years focused on accumulation, growing the number. And that's right. That's exactly what you should be doing. But at some point, the question changes. It's no longer about how do I grow this? It's more about how do I turn what I have accumulated into reliable income? Well, those are two completely different problems, and they require two completely different strategies. The approach we use is called Safety First Retirement Income Planning. The core idea is simple. Before we worry about growth, we build a foundation of income. We identify what you need to live on. Then we build a structure to fund it. We use a tool called a bond ladder for this, which I'll explain in a future episode. And we make sure that that structure doesn't depend on the market doing anything in particular. The rest of your money stays invested for long-term growth. But the foundation? Well, that's built to be predictable and reliable regardless of what the market does in the near term. And here's what that changes. When the market drops, because it will drop, that's just a fact of investing, you're not left scrambling. You're not selling things that you didn't want to sell, and you're not losing sleep because your income is already set aside. Now, I want to talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in the retirement planning conversations most people have, and that's taxes. Most people, when they think about retirement, are focused on the question, do I have enough? And that's the right question to ask, but there's a follow-up question that matters just as much. That question is, how much will I keep after taxes? Because taxes in retirement can be one of your biggest expenses. Most people haven't planned for them specifically. They know they'll owe something, but they haven't thought carefully about how their withdrawal strategy, their Social Security timing, their required minimum distributions, all interact with their tax bill. Well, here's the good news. Taxes in retirement are more controllable than most people realize, or they can be. With the right strategy, there are real opportunities to reduce what you owe, sometimes significantly. Things like Roth IRA conversions done during the right window, coordinating when you claim Social Security with your other income, being strategic about the accounts you draw from first. These decisions and compound over time in a big way. And at Branning Wealth Management, tax efficiency is not an afterthought. It's built into the income plan from the start because we want you to know it's not just what you have, but it's what you get to keep and how long it will last, and then what you're able to pass on to your heirs that matters. Well, let's take an example. I want to give you a sense of what this looks like for the people that we work with. Let's imagine that you're 62 and you've been saving consistently your whole career and you have a number. Let's say it's very solid. But every time you're thinking about pulling the trigger on retirement, there's something in the back of your mind that makes you hesitate. Or the market dips. The news gets very noisy because there's some event geopolitically. And you think, well, I'll just go one more year. What we do is sit down and build the income side of retirement. We map out what you'll need. We map out what you have and what that tax picture looks like. And then we structure withdrawals so that your income is designed to be predictable from day one. And then something shifts. Because once you can see the income plan, once you know what you'll have, what you'll keep, and how long it's built to last, which then gives you a sense of what you can pass on to your heirs, the market simply becomes a lot less loud. You stop asking the market for permission because now you have an intentional spending plan that's matched to reliable, tax-efficient income. Well, if any of this resonates with you and you're within 10 years of retirement or selling a business, a long-held business, maybe you're already there and you're just not sure what your income plan is going to be, I'd encourage you to take a closer look. Visit us at brandwealth.com. You can learn more about how we work, and if it feels like a fit, we would love to have a conversation. Thanks for listening to our very first episode of this podcast. Next time, we're going to talk about the bond ladder, what it is, how it works, and why it might be the most underrated income tool for retirement that most people have never heard of. Until then, don't ask the market for permission. Let our team work with you to build a custom plan today.
The information shared on this podcast is for educational purposes only and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice. Opinions expressed are those of the speaker and may not reflect the views of Branning Wealth Management or its associates. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. This podcast is not a solicitation to invest. Branning Wealth Management provides investment advisory services under Asset Dedication, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. For additional information, including our ADV Part 2A and Part 3 disclosures, visit brandwealth.com.